Okay, so this is the part 2. Okay, so this is the part 2. In this part, we are to configure our setup here in the packet tracer. Okay, so I have this topology here. First thing we are to do is to work on this in the packet tracer. So like I need 2 PC. Okay, uh, we make this to PC1, diba? Let's use the right name, PC1 there, and then PC2. So this is PC2. To change, you go to config, and then there you can find the display name. Okay. So next is I need a switch. Okay. So go here, choose the switch. You use 2960, So like my label, I think is S0. Okay, we just wait daw for it to finish. Hindi pa rin tapos. Sorry. And then 2 routers. With the router, you use 2901. 2901, 2901. Okay. There. And then we have we use cables. Install cables. So PC to switch is straight through. So this is the straight through, this one. Okay, may label here. So you connect the fast Ethernet of PC1 to observe yung labels nung like in here FA02 yung port ni switch to connect in the PC. So we connect that to FA02. And then again straight through again for switch to router. We connect FA01 to G00 of router 1. Okay, I'll first change yung mga names. I go here. I think this is S0. And then this is router 1. Okay. And then here is router 2. And then we connect cables now for between switch. I have here serial. Diba? This is the serial cable here, this one. And if you notice, there's no serial here, right? What we do, we install the serial card. So we go to the physical, and this is what we are to install, the HWIC 2T. HWIC means hybrid one interface card. So, like in this card, there are 2 serial ports. We connect it here on the rightmost part. These are the slots that this router has, but we have to first now turn it off before we can install the card. There, and then turn it on. So, done. We also have to do it here. Okay, physical, turn it off, and then week 2T, choose that, connect it there, and then turn it on. Okay, so we do it, we install cards, we first turn off the device. Although nowadays, there are devices, no need to turn it off. They have this hot swappable features. Hot, H-O-T, and then swappable. S-W-A-P-P-A-B-L-E. Hot swappable. Okay, so and that is when we can have a serial port there. So we connect the serial 000 to the serial 00 of the router. PC to router, we use cross. Okay, crossover yan. So crossover is this one. We connect again fast Ethernet, fast Ethernet to the G00. Okay. In my setup, I have labels. In your case, you do not expect that. That's not the default of the packet tracer. Okay, your default, it looks like this. There's no label. So for you to have labels, you go to option, preference, and you click this one. Always show port labels. Okay, for you to see the port labels. Okay, it helps. Sometimes, for example, you maybe connect this RS232. Okay, that's a wrong port. So, and you will send me a message, sir, why is the PC cannot connect to the router? Maybe there's wrong connection. Okay, so better to enable yung mga labels. It's not clicking na. I'll just first remove the cable. That's how you remove. You click yung X. And then, I'll choose again. FA02 to the FA. There, done. So now, what we are to do is to configure. Okay, I will work with the configuration part in the packet notepad. Okay, so I need a notepad. And I have one notepad here. Okay, do you still remember the config? The config is discussed in chapter 2. Okay. So like, I'll just arrange it here. And there. Okay, so let's say first thing we are to configure is router 1. Okay. So, diba, we start with en, enable, and then conf t, and then requirement is say host name, say router1, and then password, right? Enable, secret, say cisco, and then line con 0, say password, say class, and then login. Okay? And then for the telnet to work, line vty04 password, say class also, and then login. Okay? And next, we assign IP addresses on the interface. Say example with the G0. We go to the interface, G0/0, and then we assign. We already have our assignment here. So like for router R1, this is our G0. Okay. So we go here, IP address, and then we type the IP address assignment for router 1, 192.168.10.1, and then with the subnet mask of 255.255.240, and then no shutdown. Okay, done. And the next is the serial. We go to the serial. Shortcut for interface is int, and then S000, and then shortcut for IP address is IP add, and then the IP address assignment, which is this one, 200.111, and then with the subnet mask of 255.255.255.252, and then no shutdown. Ang shortcut ng no shutdown is no shut. Okay, there, done. That's for the router 1. You can work, I can copy and paste this to the packet tracer. Okay, copy that, Control C. I'll go here to my packet tracer, go to router 1, CLI. Again, the answer here is no, right? For you to go to the CLI, you type no, and then there, you paste. Okay, double check if all configs are okay, like en, conf t, host name, the enable secret, the line console, line bty, interface. Okay? Example, let's say you have this, there's a wrong spelling. Copy. Let's say I'll paste it here. If you see this, there's an error. What you do, you repeat that part of the config. Okay? It will not work, diba? It's an error. So you have to repeat that again. Okay, double check your config and then repeat it. Like to check is show run, diba? To check if all configs are there, show running config, show run. That's the shortcut. It's not working. Show run is done in the privilege mode. So you have to type exit first, and then now here where you type execute the show run. So I have my host name by enable secret, the interfaces, IP add, then the line console and line VTY. So done. I'm okay now with router 1. I now go to router 2. I'll copy this. So this time I'll work with router 2. Okay. So now router 2. So this time it's for router 2. So like host name is router 2. I still have my passwords. And then for G0 router 2 is 10.17, and then its subnet mask is 248, and then for serial you have 200.112. Okay, there, copy that. Okay, Control C, go here, go to router 2. Okay, CLI. Again, the answer here is no. Enter and then paste. And then check. Oh, like this one, there's an error. But I forgot to remove this. So what you do, okay, fix that. Then copy that again, that part. Or maybe you can copy everything. You can also do that. Okay. If you find it confusing, copy everything. And then there, enter. Okay. Double check again. Show run, right? Show run. Oops, it's not working. Well, because first there's a wrong spelling. But it's still not working because you have to have exit, diba? You don't need to exit. If you can type show run here, just add do. Do show run. Okay? If you are so impatient of typing yung exit, just add do. Okay? You can do those commands under privilege mode. In any mode, just add do. So enter, and there. I have my host name, my enable secret, and then those interfaces, and then the password that I've set. Okay? So now, next is PC. Let's assign IP add. So for our PC, our IP add is this. So I go here, desktop, ipconfig, and then assign 192.168.10.2 with a subnet mask of 240, and the gateway is 192.168.10.1. Every time you assign an IP ad to a computer, you double check it in the command prompt if it is registered. And there, okay, we have the IP address assigned already. And then go to the next PC here, desktop, IP, and then assign. So 192.168.10. Forgot for PC2 18. Sorry. So 192.168.10.18 with a subnet mask of 248, and the gateway is 10.17. Okay. There. Then double check ipconfig. And there we have our assignment. Okay. And then last is the switch. The environment of the switch is the same. So copy this. Switch doesn't have this, diba, yung G0 and S0. But there is a need for the switch to assign an IP ad. So let's say this is S0. There is a need to assign IP address, and that's under VLAN 1 for us to remotely access the switch, or to access the switch, so that we can manage the switch. We need to have an IP address assignment in its VLAN 1. So we go there, VLAN 1, and then we assign IP ad. Our assignment is 192.168.10.3 with the subnet mask of 255.255.240, and then no shot. We copy this in the switch, go here, CLI, and enter, then paste, and enter. And there, okay, we've already assigned our IP address. So I'm done, okay, with the config, adding the config, and now some of the concept. First, I'll note some of the addresses here. I'll just have some circles to add labels. Like in here, our network on this side is 192.168.10.0/28, right? And then here, our network here is a 200.110/30. And then on this side, we have 192.168.10.16 /29. Okay, now we have some testing. Okay, like what we expect is that PC1 can connect its gateway. So to do that, to test that, is we use ping. Okay, we ping, say I will ping G0 of router 1. So I will ping 192.168.10.1, enter, and there's a reply. PC1 can connect on the router, on this router. Can PC1 connect to PC2? Let's try. PC2 is 10.18, right? That is its IP. So let's check if PC1 can connect to PC2. So we now ping 10.18, and it's unreachable. Okay, see that? It's unreachable. So far with what we did, assigning IP ad to PC and to the router's interface, PC1 cannot connect to PC2. Okay? The reason why is we need to set up routing in our router. So there's that what we call a static route, RIP, or OSPF. We had an overview of that in the other chapters. Okay? And that setup is discussed in Cisco2. Okay? Let's go to the router. Okay? Router, take note, has a map inside. We call as the routing table. Let's check the routing table. The routing table command is the command for us to view the routing table is show IP route. If you notice in here, router 1 has an entry of 192.168.10.0, right? Which is this side here, right? 192.168.10.0. So this is why we can also use this one as a test commands for testing connectivity. This is why router 1 can connect on PC1. Successful siya because router 1 has an entry of this network in its routing table. Okay? Let's check if router 1 can connect to router 2. And it's successful. Why? Because router 1 has an entry of 201.1.0, which is common to R2. Diba? Router 1's connection to R2 is 201.1.0. Can router 1 connect here? It's failing. See that? It's failed. Let's see. Is router 1 has this entry? Does router 1 has a 192.168.10.16 in its routing table? No, right? It only has 10.0 and 201.1.0. There's no 10.16. That is why router 1 cannot yet connect to PC2. It's still failing. And what do we need for router 1 to connect there? Routing. So there's still a part here missing, and it's discussed in Cisco 2. Okay? So like router 2, let's have another actually, I'll just repeat what I said just to make sure that you really did understood that. So again, do show IP route. Okay. Router 2 has an entry of 192.168.10.16. Okay, which is this one. If you remember, like in network layer discussion, router 2's definition for this is the directly connected network. Right? Router 2, this network 192.168.10.16 and 201.1.0 is directly connected to router 2. So by what we did, a router can only connect to its directly connected network. Okay? Router 2 in relation to this 192.168.10.0 is a remote network. Okay? A network that is not directly connected to R2. That's how we define remote network. So like since router 2 has an entry of 192.168.10.16 there, it's connecting. Also the 201.1.0, it's connecting. So it's successful, but its remote network, this one, still not yet. We need to set up, what is it again? Routing. Yes, very good. You need to set up routing for R2 to connect there. And routing is discussed in Cisco 2. Okay, next module. Next term, hopefully. Okay, if everything is okay. So, that's one thing I'd like to focus on. And then last, in my agenda, we save config. To save the config is, we use copy command, right? Copy. So, copy, run, start. That's the shortcut. Copy running config, startup config. Then we press enter. In here, it's asked for the file name, but it suggests a default file name. So if you are okay with that, we just press enter. To verify if it is saved, we type show startup dash config. Okay, and there's an entry already. Okay. Again, copy, run start. Copy, run start, if you notice, is done in the privilege. It doesn't work here. But then again, if you want to copy, run start here, just add do. Okay, add do. Enter, and then press enter. Okay, and then do show start to verify, and do show startup to check if you have an entry, then it's saved. Okay. Example, let's say I will type do show startup. If you see this not present, it means there's no saved configuration yet. It's not yet saved. So you now type do copy run start to save. Okay. And then now we check. There's an entry. Do show startup. Okay. You don't see the not present anymore. You see a config. It is an indication na nakasave yun. Okay. And then I'd like to focus on this one. Again, the use of that is for us to telnet the switch. Okay, let's try that. So PC1, for example, we first have to check yung connectivity. Let's say we ping first the switch. The switch has an IP add of 192.168.10.3, and there's a reply. Okay, there. May reply na. This is just packet loss. No, as long as there's a reply, you see is okay. And now we telnet. Telnet 192.168.10.3. Okay. Again, the use of having an IP add on the switch for us to telnet. Example, the switch is on the 100th floor. The PC is on the first floor. Your boss told you to shut down a port on the switch. The elevator is not working. You use the stairs to go there, 100th floor. Diba? Effort. So, you may use telnet. You go to your PC in the first floor. You telnet the switch. Enter. Then you type the password you set in the line VTY. Enter. And then there. That's a switch. Okay? Like right now, we can work. You can work at home even if you are a network administrator because you can access your network devices remotely using remote access commands like telnet, SSH, RDP, okay, so on and so forth. And this ends chapter 10. Okay, so I'll be giving you an activity similar to this one for you to work on it, assess if you have learned like everything you need to learn here: IP addressing, subnetting, config, um, doing the setup in the packet tracer. Okay, again, any questions, send it to me in Facebook. Um, Send it, ask your classmates. Uh, yes, you interact with your classmates. No, another is you again, you may watch the video by chop by chop. I call it by chop, or I watch the example. Say watch the first part, pause, then you work that part in the activity. You may also try that. Okay, so keep safe. Together we learn as one. Thank you.